It's me! You guys! You guys! Hi friends, good morning. Okay, I was just uploading the emotes real quick, but we just like changed them back. And yeah, good morning, hello. Hey, is that my friend Hayden? Hello? Oh, you guys are all in here. Hello, oh my god. Good morning. How are you? Oh my goodness. Like we kind of like this morning's kind of been the thing, man. My poor shorty cam like broke this morning. Like well, first of all, I slept through my alarm. Like it just like was like knocked the fuck out. So I definitely slept through my alarm. But then my poor shorty cam broke. Like that's like the biggest deal, dude. Like my poor shorty cam. Like oh my god. I mean, the camera itself didn't break. It's more like what really happened is that like the stand for it broke. And so I can't even like show her. Give me 1 second. And so it's like you guys can't even look at her be cute, but we'll pick her up right now. Shorty girl, come here. Come here, shorty. Come here, girl. Come here. Oh. So we'll just get her right now so you guys know that she's okay. You got Glock. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We'll just, you know, we'll just look at her right now. It's fine. Good morning, Alejandro. Oh my god. Yeah, poor shorty, you know, like she's just out here living her best life, and yeah, we can't even look at her. So and all my scenes already have her in there, so we have to just have this picture. It's just so sad. What can we do? We're just out here trying to do our best, you know? I think since we're a little bit late, we're still gonna get started and talking to people, you know? It's funny too, because Kittier has her own chihuahuas as well. So I think we'll talk about being like pet moms and stuff too. But let's just go ahead and get started because Kittier is like amazing. She's awesome. And honestly, Shorty looks pretty happy. I don't know if I don't think I can kind of keep her like held here. I mean, I guess maybe you want to be held here, huh? I don't know. Is that what you want, Shorty? No, probably not. She's like, you like an old lady. So we won't like torture her like by keeping her here, even though I think she looks happy here. I don't know. And I was gonna keep this light off and thinking maybe I'll just cut the other light on. Yeah, I think both lights will be good. Okay, that's perfect. You wanna lay down, Shorty? But she's so comfy, you know, look at her. I forgot to update that, that's fine. Yeah, she does have a chihuahua actually, so we can talk about that. We can. All right. Let's just get started because I do want to talk about some of the changes like the DS and stuff like that, but we can talk about that in the interviews. So let me just update this. So if people do not know my good friend Kittier, Kittier is amazing. She's like definitely like an OG player of this game. She's been playing this game since 2016. She's one of the few survivor mains that has actual Leah I said, you know, I was about to say Leah Legacy instead of Legacy Nia. She also has a history of like kind of being in comp Left 4 Dead 2. She is amazing at this game. I cannot say enough about how she has saved my ass and carried me so many times. Like it's just awesome. She is so talented, and it's like casually talented. Okay, so just check this out, okay, and then we're gonna talk to Kittier.
Aww, what a fucking G. Yeah. I might go down. Just kidding. Oh, I am gonna go down. Just kidding. Just kidding! Fire barrel! Ah! Ah! What is this man doing? Help! I don't know what he's doing! I don't know what he's doing! He's just fucking juking himself! Help! Oh my god, please! Oh my god, please! You
You fucking lost me!
I don't know.
I want to my own back.
Get fucking wrecked, stupid bitch. Get fucking wrecked. Fricked.
Okay, I cannot say enough about how she cracks my shit up. This girl is so fucking funny. Like, she's just amazing. So let's talk to Kitty. She might have gotten up though, because usually I talk a lot before this. So we'll kind of just chat amongst ourselves. So basically, the one thing that they changed recently again today in this patch, right? They basically changed Decisive Strike for like the 5th time. You love WandaVision, yes. Pizza Friday. Okay, Mish, I love you. Why are you so fucking cute? I love you so much. Pizza Friday new episode. Oh my god. So, okay, wait. We can talk about WandaVision first, by the way. They changed DS again, right, Hayden, right? Like, it's gonna be like, so you basically, if you do anything after you get unhooked, like if you heal somebody, if you cleanse a totem, if you touch a generator, then it deactivates your DS. So that's the shitty part about it. But you can also still slug out DS, which sucks. You know what I mean? And yeah, and so how many times we're gonna like change shit about DS? Rax on Rax, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the stream. Like, and it's one of those things where survivors kind of get dicked all the time and stuff.
Hello, I'm sorry, my Discord's not on.
Oh, no worries, Queen. Hello, I love you.
Hi, I love you. I'm so excited to be
I'm
here
so
with
excited
you.
too.
Cannot think of a better person to talk about this shit with.
Absolutely.
Literally talking to my best friend about DBD and streaming. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, 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 yes. We stand, we stand. So basically, like we've known each other for so long, and so it's funny too, because like because I need to get clips to kind of show on stream, and all I had to do literally is look in my history of clips and just find the clips I've clipped of you personally.
God.
And that's it. That's all I had to use, girl. Because I had enough just from me being like this like super fan in the corner, be like, yes, look at my queen. You know that scene in Mean Girls with like Amy Poehler, who is like, who she like when Rachel McAdams and her group is like on stage performing, right? And Amy Poehler's like in the audience, like dancing the aisle.
Dancing? Yes.
That's me, girl. I'm like your Amy Poehler, girl.
Oh, you're on stage with me. You are the queen on stage with me. For sure. We're together. I feel like this has been, like you said, like a long time coming. It's just nice to be able to talk to you about shit that I know we both can and have a lot of passion for. Still to
Yeah.
this day.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was like, what? Because not like Mish is in chat, and I think I was watching like you and Mish around the same time because like early on in DVD, I was like this Babu survivor, and I was like, oh god, look at these queens, they're so amazing. Who? And then as I kind of got better at the game, then we started playing together like a lot more, and so it's been like just I don't know, awesome. It's been awesome to play with you so much more over the years. So I guess my biggest question is just to start out is how did you even before like even aside from DVD, how did you get started streaming? What made you start streaming?
A girlfriend of mine told me that I would probably be good at it because I streamed so much. I streamed, sorry. I played so much by myself regardless, and I would like personally just stream for her, like on Discord or on Steam. And then the boyfriend was like, I think you'd actually really be good at it as well. And I just started to stream like my tournament games because that was kind of when I was doing like Left 4 Dead shit. And so I would stream my tournament games or like practice matches. And I liked the few times that I had started doing it. And so I just kind of like continued it with that in with like just the mindset of I'm just doing this shit for fun. I like that people are like just wanting, I guess, to see me stream. But me personally, I just like to play video games. So the fact that anybody just wants to sit around and watch and chill and whatever, I thought that was actually pretty cool. I didn't think that that would ever be a thing. I just, like me again, personally, just like to play video games. I have thousands of hours and not just, Dead by Daylight and many games. That's just been the whole thing for me is just gaming in general. And then found out that there is peop there is a community and people that is so great beyond anything that I have met in a long time. Even IRL, I've had some really good IRL communities, obviously in the past, but when it comes to online, never thought that that would be like a thing for me. I've always, been the opposite of a homebody, and it really got me thinking that, this could be something that I can see myself doing. And here we are, like 3, almost 4 years going. I think this is going on my fourth year, like at the end of the year of streaming, and I'm still loving it. I'm still playing games that I've been playing for years, and I'm still enjoying it and not having it be something that um like makes me bored or upset, I guess. But I'm just a basic bitch. I like a lot of the same things too. So I mean, for me to play and do the same thing is kind of like just on trend for me, anyways.
I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. Even like the part where, kind of not being like a homebody. I mean, I definitely have my homebody tendencies, but like it definitely, I wasn't really like much of a gamer for me, I wasn't much of a gamer for a long time until like much more recently. Before I was definitely much more of a, oh, let's go out, go do stuff, blah blah blah. And I think sometimes as I get older, like especially for me, like a lot of my friends were getting married and stuff. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna play some games on the side too. Um, but anyway, so I know that you did competitive Left 4 Dead 2 before you played DBD.
Dad, I did tournaments on not only PC, but I did them on Xbox too. I transferred from Xbox 360, like a lot of
Morning, Stephanie.
other Left 4 Deaders. Transferred over from 360 to Xbox, and I played it in quite a few tournaments, and I think I'm just a competitive gamer. Period. I've always have been since I started playing. I pretty much started playing like FPS games as an adult. Never really before in my other gaming. Like growing up, I grew up on fucking Pokemon and shit. Like that was my shit. Ride or die. Fucking Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advance, and that was my shit. But as I got older, I got into again the FPS thing and the whole competitiveness and the competitive scene that I didn't know was a part of Left 4 Dead. Really pulled on my interests apparently because I did it for for a lot of years, many years even before I started Dead by Daylight, and even while I was playing Dead by Daylight. And yeah, it just anything that is competitive FPS, I've played and play probably to this day still. CS:GO, um, Overwatch, Valorant. Um, I played a shit ton of PUBG. That's not, you know, that's not competitive. But if they had a competitive, or do they? I don't know. I haven't played PUBG in a long time, so. But anyways, FPS games have been my thing, but Deep Dead by Daylight definitely was the one game that actually caught my interest that wasn't shooter. Like you could not get me to play a non-shooter game. If I couldn't kill something, if I couldn't use a gun, if we're not doing something active like that, it never really caught my interest. Um but with this, I don't know it must be the not only the play style, but I think I liked the community as well. Like as toxic as people like to say it is and say it is, I grew up in a time where TBT wasn't like that at the beginning, and there was a lot of fun times, and I can still, again, in this time and era, find um fun in it by just not taking it so seriously. I think that's what a lot of people kind of hold on to Dead by Daylight with, is everything gets a little too personal sometimes, and that's when we got to step away from the computer and, come back. And then when they come back, they realize, yeah, I forgot I really like this game. Like, it's one of those things where it gets frustrating, but if you can't handle it, then just come back and you'll love it again, trust me.
So what? So what I always love, Kitty, about you is that you just like you get so much joy out of this game. You know what I mean? Like when you do like some dope ass play, like you get so much joy out of it. Like you have like so much fun. And then to your point about you being like competitive, it's funny too because like it's like you are, but I feel like with DBD you're only competitive with yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're not really like, oh my god, I have to like juice this killer. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. I don't understand the opposite that I have with this game. Honestly, God, I hate when I say this. It's literally genuinely because I've put so many hours into this game, and this is the only game that I feel like I'm really good at. Like I feel like I've tried, I've done this for so many years, 8 hours a day for fucking 3+ years, 3 4 years, and it's like I feel just, and that's the confidence that gives me the confidence to die. Like, if I
Totally.
don't mind going down for somebody else. I rather give you the points, give you the experience, give you the escape, because I've done it so many times. I'd rather me like like I'd rather get a flashlight save or get a save period, or loop the killer, and that would be more interactive, more fun for me than all of us getting out at the same time. All gens are popped, 5 minutes, killer, next game, like thing type. So I've always just been altruistic, and that's what that's what I think I go for the most and gives me the most joy out of my game, like playing this game. And when I find or talk about gameplay, that's like literally the one thing that I always go to.
So basically, we are very like old school Survivor Banes. I started playing December 16, and I think you start playing what the September 2016. When did I actually don't know?
That sounds about right, because it was a few months before Nia came out. Because whole legacy thing. Once she came out, I was like, oh, that's my bitch. And yeah, so it was definitely a few months before she did, and obviously like a few months before legacy actually was out and over with.
Gotcha. And I was thinking too, I was just like, wow, because cause I know you have Legacy 2 Nia, but then I was like, I know you didn't play like right in June, so you must have grinded the fuck out of this game to be
No,
able to get like
yes,
Legacy 2.
yes, yes, yes. That is exactly what happened. Everyone stayed level like 30, not fucking prestige, all my characters, until Nia was ready. And then when Lori came out, I convinced myself that they were going to give her legacy. And so I grind the shit out of that bitch too. And nope, no legacy for Lori.
That's so sad. No, kidding. Can you imagine a
I was,
Legacy Lori though? Oh
oh my
my
God, that would have
god.
been awesome.
That would have been so awesome. Holy moly,
I
girl.
was convinced, dude. I was convinced.
Yeah, that is crazy. So, I was going to ask you over, after I think you have at this point, are you at 7K hours? I don't know if you are. 'Cause I know you're definitely over 6K.
I I'm 7K 15.
Oh, you just passed it this
I didn't
week.
even notice, but yes, I just
Oh.
passed. We are in the 7K club.
Oh,
I
welcome to the
am.
7K club, girl. I mean, I'm not saying welcome because I'm not there yet. Wait, wait,
One day.
wait, wait. But like, I'm sure I'll get there at some point. So what kind of keeps DVD kind of fresh for you? Because there've been so many changes. And one change I definitely want to talk about with you is the DS change. Not that you do use DS, but DS is like definitely not one of like your like
Oh,
main
no, no,
perks.
no.
But
Yeah.
like, but we'll talk about that because I kind of want to talk about just Survivor changes in general. But how does DVD kind of stay fresh for you after like 7K hours?
Um, Definitely a lot of the new perks that have come out recently have kept it fresh for me. I don't think I've been too excited for perks like I've been for Elodie. Oh my gosh, like one of the best characters that come out in my eyes recently, and her perk
Yes.
selection feels so good to me as a
Yes. When's
looter,
the last time
as
we had like
a
three good Survivor perks? Like, when
right.
is the fuck is the last time that happened? Has that ever happened in recent memory that all three of the Survivor teachables are actually good? Like,
I
that's
can't remember. I can't think either of a time or of
I
anyone else. There's like maybe one or two at the most, and then but Elodie, they made her queen.
I think Yoi had like two good perks for sure.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Elodie is all three of the Survivor perks not being trash. That's crazy. And they're fun too. Like they're like really fun perks. Like Deception is fun.
Yeah.
Like the power, like I love your power struggle plays though. Oh my god! Every time you get one, I'm like crying.
It is one of the most satisfying. I mean, I think people have that same satisfying feeling from Deception. I don't get that from Deception so much. I'm not, I'm trying. I tried it. I'm still trying to work on it for myself. Deception is the one that I can't really get to work for me, but the way I have heard people talk about Deception is the same way that I feel about Power Struggle. So I can totally understand. It's so satisfying. It is,
It's
you feel
so
like a boss
satisfying.
bitch.
It's so good. Not only that, so there's that new perks, Smash Record, I think it's called, or Smash Hit, where once you send the killer, you get a sprint burst. That the
Yes.
combination of all three, girl. I got two of them off yesterday, and that shit got me like, I was like, ah.
This is it. Okay, so I played yesterday as well too, and I think I think I saw one of them happen. I don't know if I saw the second one for you when you did it, but I definitely didn't think of as a power fucking struggle user. I didn't even think of it as a play. But I was like, oh well, this would be actually pretty decent with any means necessary. Like I can actually see it fucking any means necessary not being fucking useless at this point now.
That is actually good. I didn't even think about what any mean necessary. I'm like, let me take some notes. Yes, yes, any mean necessary. And Smash Hit didn't think about that. That's amazing. Yeah, I just like perks that are dumb and fun like that. To me, is like where this game should be. Honestly, like for sure. Like I don't think that we need like this like serious fucking perks all the time, right? I think perks like that
No.
are like perfect,
Yeah.
actually.
And yeah, there's a my heart goes out to what's going to happen with the killer perks, but we learn to work against them. But yeah, the killer perks are uh, as a killer, if I was a killer main, I'd be happy with the killer perks for sure, the new ones that are coming out.
God, like, so yeah,
They're
the
so
anti.
cucking. They're so cuckage for just like any kind of play style I have. It breaks my heart, but I can see just I can see how elated everyone else will be as a killer.
Yeah, because like I mean, honestly, right? Like, does it sound fun that you could do like some Magritte Agi and then that anti breakout perk where
And
you could
then just
like that could be fun as fuck, kind of, right? But really, what you're gonna have is people just immersing on AFK on gens, and once they realize you have that perk, in my opinion, you know what I mean? That's a smart play once you do that. Yeah, Star Shark pisses me off. I fucking hate that perk. I'm sorry, it makes me angry. I'm angry. You really
Aggie.
want survivors dicking around and not doing the objective. That's what you want as killer, because that's free map pressure. You don't want them AFKing on gens. Ugh. And then we don't want to AFK on gens either.
We're getting Gen Rush, but let's put Ruin out there. But let's make this perk as well so that people just Gen Rush instead and that.
Yeah, and more kind of touches on something I want to talk about too. So basically, so I remember when you decided to start getting good at flashlights, right? And I swear to God, Kitty, within like 2 weeks of you making this decision, you were already like a god at flashlights. And I was like, I remember being like, wow, this girl is like crazy. Like whatever she sets her mind to, it is great. Can you tell us about like your flashlight saves or like it's like I had the hardest time picking 3 clips to show for Kittier. Like you have no idea. Like the girl is a fucking beast at flashlights. Like the angles that she gets, the ballsiness of her flashlight saves is just nuts. So I feel like it's hard for you because you don't feel that way probably, but let me tell you, from the outside, as the outside observer, I'm always like, girl. Tell me your secrets about your ballsy ass flashlight saves.
Oh gosh. Um, honestly, I don't even think I knew how to flashlight save really. I was more so like able to get firecracker saves, and I started to notice that like, whoa, I'm actually getting these like quite often, and then I started to actually pay attention to how I was doing it, and I was like, oh wait, I can actually get this anytime that I want to. And then that kind of like translated to me like, okay, well, maybe the only reason why I ever carried a flashlight before in the past was to be that bitch survivor that blinds you out a fucking pallet every time. Or when you're vaulting, that's all I did with my flashlights. That's all I knew. That's the life that I knew. And so, best friend, of course, Panda, he helped me a lot with that whole aspect of learning how to do it and time it. But the one thing that I always tell people and always try to refer people to that I feel that helped me a lot because, obviously you can't have somebody teach you personally like I did as well. But was Tofu's
Yes.
video. Oh, Tofu's video
Yes, yes,
for
yes.
flashlighting. Yeah, it's for flashlight saving. I watched that video maybe like 2 or 3 times. It didn't register to me what the fuck was happening. Like yet because I guess I wasn't I just couldn't see it even though he was explaining it really well. The thing that really pushed it over the edge for me was having someone be able to be there with me and be like, "Up, wait, do it now," and then and then start to click like, "Okay, this is the way. This is how we do it." But yeah,
Yes.
Tofu's video was probably is the number one thing when people ask me like in stream or whatever, like, "Oh, well, how did you learn how to do flashlights?" I always relate that video to how I learned how to.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, it's one of those things where I think for a lot of people, and even for me when I was starting flashlights, like I had Jen. Jen helped me. Jen was my panda in that case, and so he helped me a lot. But like I think that the most important thing I would say, and probably you would probably agree, is developing a consistent visual cue for yourself that you know exactly when to go. And so once you kind of do
Yes.
it, then you can start to get flashlight saves just based on when you see that if you're like coming around a corner or if you see people
Mhm.
pick up in the corn, you really know you can be pretty confident as long as you're in the right angle of knowing when you need to click because you know exactly where they are in the animation to go ahead and do it. And I think once you get that sense, that's like the most important thing is just really getting a sense of when the of all how the animation looks and all kind of angles and stuff like that and how it looks even when you just see the survivor silhouette. Those things are really important.
100%. Once you get that initial view, because again, just seeing it visually from someone else doing it, it's like, okay, yeah, I see you doing it, and I'm trying to do it when you're doing it. But it's not happening. Once you can connect that, oh, okay, so it is exactly like they're saying, and I just need to click that and see that. That's that's when it all starts to stick.
Absolutely. Um, so so you've been playing for so long because you've been playing I don't know if you were playing before they even had entity blockers on Windows for vaulting, but like we've been playing for so long. There've been so many changes to
Before, yeah, no.
Survivor.
I
Remember like
played there was
pre
none allowed for me growing up.
Yeah, right. So you've been playing so long. There weren't any blockers when you first started playing. For me, I played before Bloodlust was a thing. Even though I was a babu at the time, so I didn't appreciate the lack of Bloodlust at the time. So I was too babu to appreciate the lack of Bloodlust back then. But you had plenty of time with no Bloodlust, for example. But as many survivor mains feel, over the and probably killer mains too, honestly, who are long term honest killer mains. But like, a lot of changes over the years have really kind of, negated your ability as survivor to rely on your skill. More than anything, like for like a lot of us feel that Billy is kind of that prototype of one of our favorite killers to play against.
Mhm.
And for me to play as, obviously, but like to play against, because of the fact that your skill as survivor matters a lot against Billy, because you can run
It
like
does. 100%.
with if four good survivors, even me as a decent Billy, but even a god tier Billy, you're gonna lose if you like just kind of get into just if you don't slug and get into chases with everybody, because survivors who are good know what to do. They know how to punish a greedy ass Billy,
Yes.
and so just like talk about that part of it, because I think that's one of those things where a lot of us who have been long-term survivor mains, we just get like kind of sometimes frustrated a little bit with the game, because anything that kind of negates your skill is just really kind of frustrating.
Yeah. When it comes to that, I feel like I've been such a chameleon in this game. I've learned to adapt to pretty much obviously everything that they've put out there.
Even
But
every okay,
for
I just
me,
wanted to just compliment you real quick too, not to interrupt you, but like you're not wrong. Every time they adjust flashlights in this game, which they have over the last 8 months before they finally reverted to what it was before they even started
once
fucking
upon a
with them,
time.
like Katie was like would adjust so fast. It was crazy, actually. It's just wonderful to watch. I'm like, wow, that girl. I'm just like, where do you aim again? And Katie's like, blah 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 blah.
I am blushing. Oh my god.
But anyway,
Uh,
but tell me about your chameleon. It's like, I agree so hard. I've watched it in action, and yes, I agree.
yeah. I mean, this there obviously there are certain killers, certain perks, that make it feel like it's not you're not playing against like skill anymore. It's like you're playing against luck versus you as a survivor actually like, you know, outscaling, outmatching the killer, because that's what makes it, that like you said, playing against Billy, that's what makes it so fun. It's skill against skill. Who does this? Who does that? And when you have that that's what the whole competitive, that's why I love competitive games as well. It's my skill versus your skill. It's like
Yes,
who
girl.
is it, and I that's what I've really enjoyed about competitive games and shooters, and this game, it definitely still has a lot of that. um but there are, like you said, there are things that make it feel a little bit more so where it's not like so much where I'm fighting skill anymore. I'm kind of fighting luck at this point. Makes it a little frustrating. It makes me feel like, okay, well, when a lot of that happens to me, Dead Hard is like one of my ride or
Yes,
dies, freaking perks,
girl.
girl, and I will not let it
Girl.
go. As much as it hurts my soul, as much as it cheats on me, as much as it breaks my heart, I still go back to it. And but that I just try to I try to see where the what could have happened, should have happened, but just didn't happen. Like, okay, I we see Dead Heart went off. I would have been able to make that palette. We all would have seen it happen, but the game is what it is, and so it didn't. And so I'm okay with it happening like this. But you saw it, right? We all saw it. We know we're all here. As long as I'm able to verbalize that and have people like see, with me, that I'm not going crazy. You saw that, right? That didn't fucking hit me, right? That was like a mile away, correct? Like as long as we can see it together, that's what makes it a little bit better for me personally. So, I mean, that I just hold, I love this game. I obviously love I would not be able to play this game if I didn't love it. And with love comes some bit of hate sometimes. And you know, it's okay to criticize this game. It's okay to feel a certain way about this game at times, but remember all the good that it did, all the good that it has done, the fact that you still play it, the fact that, remember all that shit. As much as you want to sit here and criticize the game, we all have to realize that we're still playing it, we still love it, we still have it's either the community, the game, both all together, all out it's something that we all still want, and I know there's a lot of us that are just a little frustrated too. So I feel that, I feel that a lot, but again, I try my best. I try my best to just see it as what it can be, hopefully one day. I'm hoping that we can get to a good place with just hitboxes and just things working properly. And I'm never gonna expect it to be 100%, but it would be cool to have this game as a competitive mode. I could never see it as a competitive mode game in the state that it's in. How dare you? How dare you think of it being competitive when your hitboxes are the way they are? Like that's my thought about it. Like if there was some kind of connection between like me seeing exactly how you see me as a killer and survivor. That's what you get when you play a lot of FPS games. So you get that same latency that you guys see each other at the same time, type of thing. And that's just not what we have right now. But it would be awesome. It would be awesome to have that as something in the future. But am
That
okay with
is
it not being competitive right
right.
now.
It's too much of that for sure. But interesting because like, that's actually something I did want to talk to you about 'cause I know you have like such like a, strong background in competitive Left 4 Dead 2. What kind of things do you think that DVD needs in addition to hitboxes? Because could not agree more. But what other type of things do you think you need in terms of DVD being competitive? For me, one of the things is that so many killer mechanics are inherently problematic too that it feels like it'd be hard for them to be translated competitively. But I don't know. What do you think?
Um, Again, a lot of the latency shit would definitely have to be addressed. You'd have to have some kind of visual sameness between the survivor and killer where there's just not that right now. Um, I wouldn't, I, point system wise, I wouldn't know how to make it so it because it if it was point um let's see. I used to play, or I used to be like a mod in this competitive Dead by Daylight scene or whatever, um, back in the day. And one of the things that they did was a point system type thing. And I don't really like that idea either, where you have to rely on just getting max points. Because a lot of people, again, do certain things and then we're out, and that's like kind of not my play style. I guess. hmm, I, the biggest thing, like you said, is the latency thing. Once you got over that, I really don't know how to put the point based system in play. Maybe it could be something where you don't have to escape every trial, but you have to escape a certain amount of times type thing. Because then if you're having to escape every trial, then it's working hella hard for killers to get those or pushing them to get those 4Ks if they have to get all the kills, or it's pushing survivors just to do um objectives and get the fuck out. Like I don't know how they would set that up as an elo type thing, or like a SR MMR type thing. But it would be very interesting to see. I would be very, very I would definitely be playing the shit out of it if it was the fact that they fixed like, servers and latency and all that stuff. Definitely would be the game mode, probably the only game mode that I would play because in every game mode that I play comp in, it's literally I only play comp. So it that would I would be a comp DBDer for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. I have a few more questions, but if anybody in chat has any questions, I fixed the channel point redemption today, so you can actually type a question this time. So just it's super cheap. It's like 10 points. So just redeem a point. Redeem a channel point thing if you have any questions for us, because we're going to wrap up really soon, and then we're going to play like an hour of some games. And so, one thing I want to ask you. Oh God, that made me just lose my train of thought too. Oh, I know, right? I'm like, what I was going to ask you because it wasn't. It was definitely about DBD. I just want to kind of just follow up on what you just said, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of left my brain. So we could just
Totally fine. It happens to the best of us.
yeah. So anyway, so I guess one thing that I've seen you do though over the time you've been streaming. Oh no, I know what it is now. Okay, we'll get it. To your point about MMR though, I remember when they first put in, the emblem system for survivors. Kittier was like hard stuck in like green ranks, like could not rank up for like an entire season. Like I remember this so well because like you come in, Kittier's just like hanging out like rank 12, rank 13, because like even though she played this game like 12 hours a day, because she's so altruistic, she could not literally could not rank up because all she did is run the killer all game. And back then you didn't get any points for running the kill for the gens done when you're running the killer. So she legitimately could not rank up. And so tell me about that because that was so fucking funny.
I want that back. I will take that back. I will take that back. And if you want me to escape to get to red ranks, that's what I'll do if I want to get to red ranks. Give me that option though. Give me that option and I will stay there. Back then I didn't I mean back then I guess it frustrated me a little bit because I felt like, okay, well, why is this so hard for me? But now looking back at it, I'm like, you know what? I actually would take me having to escape or me having to do whatever it is that I wasn't able to do because of just being hella altruistic and only that. I would take that back so that but again, with that being said, it makes it the issue of just okay, well, I gotta do gens and get out, and that's not fun either. So I'm back and forth with that.
Told
I would take it back just so I can be selfish and have the option to rank up if I want to. But I do understand that having it based on like something where it's a lot more objective and escaping based, how it can be problematic.
Totally, because I remember actually before they did that to that evader emblem, or no, the gatekeeper emblem, no, lightbringer, I guess, right? Because like I remember like getting 0 point objective games at DPipping, you'd be like it's like the double win, right? You like have 20k points, you carried a team, you might have died, and then you DPip. That's fine.
That's fine.
Fine.
We take it.
We take those. But then
That was happening recently with the update. So
that's true.
back to that mode.
That's right. But then like I remember one time getting a 0 point objective game, and I think I finished with like a silver emblem and Lightbringer. I'm like, what the fuck? What's this silver emblem from? And so it was just because it counted to gens. It was crazy. Green Kaze asks, what's your power struggle build?
Oh God. It is it is power struggle, tenacity, flip flop, and my tried and true, my baby, my best friend for all fucking time, Dead Heart. Don't ask me why.
One day
Just
Dead Heart will treat you right, girl. One day it will treat you right.
I suggest though for the power struggle connoisseur. Unbreakable is very good, and the new perk coming out, that sounds like a really good one to add to it. And
Yeah, the sprinting away just it's like the chef's kiss on top of it.
yeah.
And then Morg asks, do we think that DC penalties have have more helped the game or hurt the game? I definitely have an opinion about this,
Mm,
but let
I
me
don't
see what you
know.
think.
I feel like it might have helped the game in and in the smallest of ways that it really just doesn't need it to be there either. Like I think the percentage of how much it's helped the game is so small that it probably would just be the same without it. I get people still DC, okay? People still kill
Yes,
themselves on Hook.
yes.
Um,
And that's what the thing
the
is too.
fact
Like people kill themselves on Hook early on first Hook. That's not different than DCing.
that it's not at all. It's not at all, and it does not make anything more fun or like you know fresh anything like that. It's like DCing as and being held. The one thing, of course, for me is that has always been a big issue is being held hostage in the game when you're bled out on the floor.
Yes.
Um, you know, being low key just BM the entire time.
Yeah.
You
People
know,
giving
it's
you
like,
the
and
nodders
there's
on the ground.
nothing you can fucking do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get banned or, just sit there and wait it out. And that's the one thing that I am like, that's what really grinds my gears because I mean, again, that happens to me so much because people get so pissed off so easily by the smallest things that I do in this game that I pay the penalty for that and end up being, all there on the floor forever and or just again, like you said, kept hostage, period. I've had people just carry me around on their back, and I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking, I don't want to be here. Just get me out and just carry me on their back. Minute I start struggling, put me on a hook. Like, and there's really nothing you can do to stop that unless you just let it happen or DC. And
Absolutely. And it's frustrating. It's just that part is really frustrating. And like, and yeah, these killers who slug everybody to the ground as if they're teaching you a little lesson about how to behave in the game, as if you're not going to do the same fucking thing every other game. Get that fuck out of here.
no,
And then the other thing too is right, like, and like those killers kill me, right? Because if survivors at our skill level split up and do gens, the games would be over in like 5 minutes, right?
yeah.
Like if like that's what people don't get. Like we literally, if four survivors split up doing gens and every survivor is good at chases, you will lose. Like
Yeah.
as killer, Garrett, you will actually fucking lose unless you slug everybody out. You will lose, but nobody wants to play that way. People following you around for stupid plays is what you want because that's exactly how you
Exactly. We
fucking
want
win.
the altruism. We want you to come back and pay, try to get the flashlight save on somebody so we can down you. That's literally how I go down like 90% of the time. Like
Yeah, like
it works in your favor, trust me.
it does.
But
It does.
now
And
we're
people
being
they gotta
hella countered.
killers of this game, you gotta stick that shit out like with flashlights because you will get better at the game. You know, like you're frustrated because you're not experienced as us, and that's why you get mad, right? But you will get better, and you'll be able to punish that altruism easily, and that's
Yeah.
what you need to do. Just stick through it. Don't get mad because it's not personal. Not that we're like we're gonna go bully a killer. The term bully squad kills me, right? Because it's never.
God.
I always say as flashlight hoes, it's never about the killer. It's not like we want to just juice this
No,
killer. It's
no.
just
We're
that we just
about
want
to
to have
I want to
fun.
shit on the killer right now. This is exactly what I'm going for. No, we just want to save. We want to
Because it's one of the
That's
few
all
skill
we're
based
doing.
things that's still left in this game, right? Like, that's why I
Yeah,
do it.
that's what made it fresh for me as well. When I learned how to flashlight save, it definitely gave me a whole new perspective of how I'm going to play. Even though I was already very altruistic, it definitely made me again a lot more ballsier when it came to just hunting down killers at that point. At this point, I'm following killers more than they're following me half the time
Hell
if I'm
yeah.
playing with people.
Hell yeah. Cuppy asked, any thoughts about crossplay months after the fact? I think we're like what, probably what, 6 months now into crossplay at this point, right? Or more, maybe.
Yeah. Crossplay, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard just because I like the idea. I like the idea of being able to connect with people more, all that good stuff. It's always just the latency. It really you really feel the difference when you're playing
Yes.
against a console killer. And I don't know how it is for playing against console survivors for killer, how much of an effect it is on them, or how much of a hindrance it is on them. But you 100% feel it as survivor. And, I can easily call out a console killer a lot more nowadays because of VPN issues as well. I'm just like, okay, is this VPN? Is this console? Oh, it's VPN or console. You're usually
Yeah.
right about it. You can usually tell,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't make it that aspect doesn't make it fun. I like the fact though being able to play with survivor friends from other platforms. I love that idea. I think that's so awesome. It's just I don't think optimized the way it should be, fortunately.
I agree. I will say for me, for crossplay on the Survivor side, it made games so much better because like I felt like the killer pool became so much more diverse because remember
Yes,
because like
yes, yes. I love that you said that.
yeah, right.
Yes.
Because like this, because I remember like that. I right before crossplay got implemented, killer games were really fucking stale. You know what I mean? Playing
They
against it was
were.
stale as fuck. Right? Everybody had pop corrupt, corrupt pop, pop corrupt sloppy butcher. And it was just like falling asleep every fucking game. Like, like, and then it was just so boring, so boring.
Especially if you were like late night like me. I remember I heard Jen Denise talk about this before and I was like, girl, I feel you on this. You literally get the at that time, you would get the same, five killers, the
Yep.
same five red rank killers. They know you. You can't do anything about it because they see who you are. They know what the fuck you're running. They seen that you are with Swift, or they see that you are alone, and still they're
Mm-hmm.
able to, counter you in any kind of way because again, you're playing the same five people and you've been playing, and there's no way to actually um do anything about that as a survivor. So I was just like, yes, that is so true. I run through that same freaking issue. It would be so frustrating to go up against the same person over and over and over again, to where now, even though, it might be a console player that's a little bit well, not a little bit laggy, a lot
Like a
laggy.
lot, like yep.
Even though it's a console player, at least it's not the same console player that I played, five times in a row. At least now there is a big diversity when it comes to playing against people.
Absolutely. Because, like, then you probably had experience too of that. If they get you again, they get progressively angry at you
They
and
do, they
they
do,
start
they
stacking like
do.
fucking Freddy perks or Freddy slowdown add-ons or
Girl,
like
I'll
like
be
prayer breed
looting.
spirit back in the day. Like it'll be all kinds of bullshit every other. Like, the games will just get so much worse and it gets so bad. And the oh
Okay.
god, it was painful.
It's so painful. I'll literally sit there, be looting all five times that I run into the same person, and they bring everything that is just like not only like cut coined or some shit or Franklin's or
Yep.
everything that counters me. But then there's just like uh, honestly there's just nothing I can do at that point. And luckily, you know. And this is actually back in the day, even though when there was DCing, I had a problem with DCing. I just did not DC, girl. I started DCing like maybe like 2, 3 years into the game, before like maybe a few, like maybe like 4, 5, 6 months before they implemented DC. And that's when I started DC. So I put up with a lot of bullshit in my gaming in DBD, even though I didn't have to when it came to DCing. So
Totally agree because I'm the
Yeah.
same way. I didn't like it was like, because of the fact, but I really feel like it's because of the fact that you start getting all these angry killers, and I think that too. I don't know if it's related to when they changed the rank reset either, where people were starting to get hard stuck in red ranks, and you have these people who clearly did not no belong there skill wise, but they were stuck
Yes.
there, and they would get mad, and then they would make your games hell, and like. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm pretty sure it's been picked up for me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I have to talk about before we get done is your cosplays. That's been something that I've loved to see how you have how you've developed over the years. Like when I was looking at
I
clips, for example,
cry.
like I would found like your Ace cosplay, for example, and then the picture I have up for you right now is your Lady Gaga cosplay.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you got into it and what you see yourself going, where you see yourself going with it.
Honestly, it was so freaking random, dude. I don't know what made me think about doing it. But I had just did that. I think the Ace one was like the second or third cosplay I ever did. But the one that I did before that was the Freddy one, and I sat
Oh, I
there.
remember that.
I did.
Yeah.
I sat there. I did it. I wasn't really thinking about streaming. I was just like, I'm just gonna do makeup, and that's been the most chill factor about getting ready for streaming for me is makeup. I never really thought of myself too creatively before, but I started, I mean, like, I guess within the last like 5 years or so, been really into YouTube, watching videos and stuff like that. And so the last like 2.5, 3 years, I've actually been like, oh, well, let me try to implement some of the shit that I'm like literally watching hours and hours and hours of. Um, but I cosplaying, I guess, I think I always kind of did it, but I never really noticed, like, Halloween shit. I think I started making like my own things in middle school, not like by hand and sewing. I'm not that talented,
I was gonna
but
say what?
but girl, I wish. I mean, I'm just like my own things. Like I had a, like I wanted to be a schoolgirl, so I had a plaid skirt and a cute little button up and long stockings, and I'm a schoolgirl type of thing. Like that's how my I feel like my cosplays are very very basic like that, where like it's more so of I I just I it's stuff that I have. It's stuff that, like I just that actually would go nice with this. It's not more I would love to be more intricate. And that's what I would love to that's where I would love to see myself going someday, where I actually feel like I am not just pulling something out of my closet, but is actually like a cosplay, a whole ass, thing. I feel like I have a lot of room to grow for that. And I've, with it though, with that being said, everyone has been so like supportive. It's really pushed me to just try and to do things that I feel very insecure about. Like I hate being on cam. I hate fucking taking pictures. I hate all that shit. This is what my somewhat career is at this point. But because people are so um supportive and like, oh no, I really like it, even though I am the most self-deprecating person for myself. I hear what you guys say, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, whatever is going on in my mind, I'm just gonna push past this. We're gonna try it, and it ends up really working out. And lo- honestly, I never knew I could love it the way I do. I have always I've never really been like I've been into makeup like since high school, but it was always like really basic shit like eyeliner, mascara, maybe some foundation and lip gloss. And now I'm like so into just, oh, graphic design. Oh, let me make something look like this. Oh, let me try to do this and that, because of things that I've watched and because people actually are like, that that is what you say it looks like. I actually see that, and it's nice or whatever. And so, yeah, it's definitely been more so of everyone pushing me to do it. Not pushing me to do it, but pushing my self confidence to do it, and then just forcing myself to push these creative things out there because again, this is creative creative wise. This is the one thing that actually I enjoy and makes me truly happy. Like I look forward to doing I look forward to doing my makeup every day. I look forward to doing cosplays and stuff like that. It's never a hindrance for me, whereas other things definitely are. And that aspect, that aspect though, definitely gives me the life that I didn't know I needed. But
I
yeah,
love it.
I
I
hope to
love
go
it.
further.
And I'm so happy because, like, honestly, you're amazing, honestly, and so I love seeing your cosplays. So I hope you, and I'm so glad you love doing them too. And so, what can we expect next from twitch.tv/Kittier over the next few months in terms of your stream? And why is it going to be some ASMR?
Oh no! Oh God, my secret dream. I'm gonna be just pushing this partner thing as hard as I can. I don't think it's ever been something that it's like for like maybe like the last 2 years that's something that I really wanted. But now we're gun ho, with the support. Girl, you support the shit out of me. Like you have pushed my confidence to do it so much. So with the support of you and so many other people, I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna try my best to do this thing. And with that, I yes, cosplays. Yes, I have cosplays. Yes, I have uh ideas of possibly even playing other games. What? Yes, I would love to actually branch out into other things other than Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight will always be like my tried and true, my heart, my joy. um yeah, I hope to continue to be happy with all this. This streaming makes me more happy than I ever thought it could. I've said this to my stream so many times. There's been days where I am just like, I don't want to do this shit. And I am just not feeling it mentally. I'm just not feeling it physically. But I'm just like, okay, fine, fuck it. I'm just going to get ready slowly and see how I feel. I'll get ready, still feel shitty. The minute that I start the start button or start stream button, it's like people come and make me feel like, okay, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. All that hurt, all that sadness, all that whatever the fuck I'm going through that day, it honestly goes away, and I am so thankful to have people, like I said, like you in my life to push me to continue to do something that I really don't, again, very self deprecating. So it's something, a goal that I've never seen myself completing, but you and other people have put it in my head now. Like, bet you about to do this shit. Okay, fine, fine. I'm about to do it. We're pushing. We're trying for this shit. We're gonna do it. We're gonna stop. Um, bullshitting about it, and that's where I am now. I'm stop bullshitting and pushing myself to do this shit as hard as we can.
Hell yeah. Because also, I love you. I mean, I have to say, like, it's one of those things where, Kittier was my number one watch stream of 2020. In which I knew I watched a lot of Kitty, but that was like, for some reason, that was like this pleasant surprise for me. I was like, oh my God, look at the proof of my love.
Literally brought me in almost tears when I saw, like, seriously, you, you pull on the heartstring that I didn't know I have a lot of times, and it's just to have somebody amazing like you in my life. It's been just seriously, like I was saying about you and Z yesterday, like having just women that you can look up to, that support the shit out of you, that want to see you just grow and thrive and all that shit and not talk shit and not backstab and not do all the shit that you're used to as, going through as just as a person. You don't have to just have that as, girls having feeling like that towards you, but just as a person. It's hard to accept, but I have learned that it how much more fulfilling it is when you do. And I love you to death. And thank you for being you, for doing shit like this, for bringing up people that, you could be interviewing, top streamers, be interviewing anybody you want to at this point, and you literally go out of your way to help your friends to see things and the people that that a lot of people overlook. And that's just like you in general. Like you have such good causes that you fight for. You have such good morals. You have such good everything. And I just wanted to praise you real fast. Sorry.
You about to make me emotional, like in the timeline. It's like it's 8 o'clock in the morning, girl.
Reverse card.
It's too early. I know.